Okay, so hello Zoom webinar participants. Delighted you're here. We're going to join the Facebook Live webinar participants in a moment now. I am starting that as well. Here we go. This webinar is about how to set up your office. So I will tell you, this is actually not my favorite setup. My favorite setup is over there at my standing desk, but I moved here to see if this would be a little better for hearing and seeing. How can you set up your home office? Most of us are at our desks right now. Most of us are figuring out, look, do I have too many things in the background? Do I have kids coming in? Is this light from the window too bright? What's going on? So today's is really, really practical. This isn't even about focus or motivation or your scheduling, all these things that we have on for you later on this week. But today is really, how do I set up my home office? So I'll start. I'm going to tell you about 3 things today. And you'll see I'm checking out for my water. And I highly recommend that you grab some water from your kitchen. As I now know, we are all at home, and I'm not saying go to your cafeteria or your office water cooler. Grab some water. We're going to talk about 3 things: video, audio, and water. You might think the water part is a little silly, but I'll actually start with that. I always have a glass of regular water, and for me, I always have a glass of hot water, like tea. Why? Because you're going to get parched, especially if you're the one who's doing most of the speaking. You don't want to be leaving a Zoom webinar to run into your kitchen. It's always nice to have some tissues around and if you need it. Some people have cough drops, but really water. We have now covered 1/3 of the webinar. I am telling you, this is all about getting it in within the 20 minutes. Water, I could talk more about it, but basically have it. I can take questions and answers about water. Now, you're probably here because you're also thinking, home office, I'm working from home consistently. What should I do? So I'll start with your visual setup, and then I'll move on to lights. I'll show you the light example. Your visual setup. Take a look at what I'm doing. I've made a choice. For video, there are basically 2 things you should have in the background. Either the kind of thing that I have, which is very simple, likely 2 things, one on each side of the head. And the second thing, which I don't have the ability to do, is a blank screen or a blank wall. So let me talk about the wall first. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing a webinar on these things? Because it's probably the most practical, and it's something that you'll face all the time. So please let me know at any point if you have questions. You can put it into the Q&A section. You can type it into the chat. We're very informal here. We're very all about figuring out what helps you. So this first webinar is on this practical thing because it is so practical. We have our office setups and we're not quite sure how to do it, how to set it up. Blank screen, I can't do this, but if you can do so that behind you is literally just a blank wall, if you have a way where you're at a table and it's just a blank wall, that's excellent. That's actually a wonderful video setup. One other way that I've seen somebody do the blank wall approach is a colleague of mine, Sharon, who will be a coach doing a webinar this Thursday. She has a screen. She got it, I think, on Amazon. It's one of those room division screens, room dividing screens. It's about 6 dividers. So all you can see behind her is that brownish screen. Again, it's just you and the background. Why do we want this? We kind of want this for the same reason that my kids are doing Zoom. They're in kindergarten and in 2nd grade. And one of their Zoom expectations and instructions that they got is be boring. So what does be boring mean? Be boring means when you're there, when you're at the screen, don't have distractions. Don't have like lots of movement even in yourself. Be boring and still and calm and infuse that to the webinar. All right, so we've gone through one. One is the blank background, which can either be a blank background or it can be one of those room dividers if you set it up right behind you. And also some people are a little shy about, oh, my office is actually in my bedroom and so I've got my bed behind me or I've got my closet. Just get the room divider or get something that just covers up the back. That's one way, the blank background. The second way is the way that I've chosen, I think a lot of people choose, which is one thing on each side of your head. It can be a plant in a bookcase. It can be 2 pictures. It can be a picture and a plant. It can be even a plant that's a fake plant. It doesn't matter, just something that's visual but not distracting. And my only caveat with this is to not have anything that goes out of the top of your head. So when you're setting up your home office, like I'll give you an example. I can't even give it. If I have that picture coming right out of the top of my head, not good, not good. So just something on the left side and the right side. plant, bookcase, whatever works for you. Moving on, so we've talked about blank background and one thing on each side so that it's visually here. Now I'm gonna ask you a question, so please type this into your chat. How much of your body do you think should be in the screen? Do you think you should be this close? Do you think you should be way far? Or just what part of your body should be in the screen? And I will see what you're saying. Okay, all right. We've got one person who's saying head and shoulders, one person who's saying mid-torso, shoulders and head, chest and above. Top third. That, I can kind of see what you mean by that as well. So yes, a lot of you are saying exactly, and actually exactly in the terms that I would say, chest and above. Thank you. Oh, hi, nice to see you here. Yes, so my recommendation to you would be about shoulders and head. Why? So that if you are, which I hope you are on your video calls, if you are gesturing to people with your hands, that you can actually, they can see this movement. The other reason is so that you're not too close, that's kind of uncomfortable, and that you're not way far away, like my kids again in second and kindergarten when they're doing online physical video, this thing called Go Noodle and other things that are available on YouTube. So yes, great, chest and above, head and shoulders. And I'll add one more thing. A lot of people don't think about this so much until they're actually there. So look at me right now, and then look at me right now. Hey, someone said the sound is not coming through so well. So let's check. Oh, the sound is not coming through on Facebook. Very interesting. Thank you for that comment. We can change that. So our friends, please answer this question. How much space in the chat, how much space should be above your head? And while you answer that, I'm going to move to my other screen because, you know, we're nothing if not flexible. All right, I'll see you in a moment at my other screen. What are your answers? What are your answers in terms of what should be how much of your head? So someone's saying just enough to create a pleasant frame, make sure your head's in the picture. Yeah, so some people, I don't know why, but some people do, I think it's because they're on laptops, they do this. And so you see their eyes, excuse me, which is good. And then you see, that's it. So just notice if you're on the laptop, you may need to tilt your laptop in to a little bit not comfortable position. One of you is saying a small border. I would agree with that. And I would say even air, oh, somebody look like we're face to face. Yeah, not look like you're towering over someone either. Not like the nostrils do you. Yes, exactly. I would say air more on the side of more of your head being near the top. And I'll tell you why, because more people air towards less. I don't know why. I think it's because a lot of us are on laptops, but that's weird. That looks like someone, and all the other people in the meeting are towering over you. So yes, thank you for those of you who've commented. Basically something where you're again between, and you noticed I got over to this computer and I wasn't quite between the images. So I shifted. It's really easy for me to shift. So between the images with that headspace. All right, we're 2/3 of the way through our call. So we've done water. And if you're with me, please have a sip of your hot tea, your regular temperature water. We've done water, and we've done video. There's one part of video we haven't done. I hope I can show it to you here, and then we'll go on to audio. Last part of video. I am using this thing called a Logitech camera, a Logitech Brio. Logitech is also a client of Silicon Valley Change. We provide coaching for Logitech, VMware, Sony PlayStation, a lot of amazing companies, high-tech, finance, research companies. So I'm going to show you this. This is the difference between camera. That's one camera. Do I look kind of dark and a little bit depressed? This is just my computer camera. And then I'm switching to, I'll actually show it to you. It's this small, it's a cute little camera called the Logitech Brio. I love it. I love it. Others of our coaches, it's expensive, it's pricier, but because I do all my calls here, I switch to it. So this is the Logitech. I mean, don't I look night and day? I'll just show you one more time. This is my regular camera. And this is the Brio. So if you're doing all your calls on video now, you may consider doing something like that, whatever something like that would be for you. So that's one other aspect of video. And one person asked, how do you look like you're looking at people? Oh, I don't think, so thank you for asking that. I don't think you should worry about that. I think, so right now I'm looking at the camera because I'm the only one here, but when I have a meeting, just look down at, so this is me looking at myself. I don't think you should worry about that because that makes you inauthentic. If I'm speaking to someone who's right there for seeing, but I'm looking here, that's weird. That's not how people interact. So if you're in a meeting, just look at the person. If you're doing a web presentation, look at your camera. Okay, so we've gotten through the head, we've gotten the sides, we've talked about potentially a different camera if you're going to be online a lot. And let me show you one other thing. This company is not a client. Someone actually who works at Zoom recommended this to me. And this is called a ring lamp. So let me see if you can see it. Oh, it's way over there. We can post this on Facebook later. Get the LED kind, not the kind that heats up, but the LED if you get it. This is really if you're doing more presentations. So you don't completely need it, but you might want it because otherwise I have a window. So quick digression on this. I have a window, and so it's usually light on one side. This makes it light on both sides. That's optional, not a big thing, not a huge part of this webinar. All right, so we did video, we did water. And in the last remaining minutes, we're gonna do audio. I basically have one tip for you on audio, and that is make sure that people can hear you. A lot of the calls that I do are one-on-one coaching calls. So one person and me. The first question I ask is, can you hear and see me fine? And then I'll also ask if they have their water with them for our call. You must think I drink a gallon of water. I don't, but I remember to drink it on my webinars and on my Zoom meetings. That is basically it. So with audio, can someone hear you? If they can't, here is what you should likely do. I tend to use Zoom. There are lots of different things to use. I love Zoom. Zoom is not a client of ours, but I really just love the company and have been using Zoom for a long time. If somebody cannot hear you, in Zoom, what you can do is next to the mute button, there's a caret, a little arrow going up, and you can switch to phone audio. So you can click on that and then you can call in. Sometimes calling in gives you clearer audio than your web connection. In fact, specifically, if for any reason the internet's not stable at your home, do that, call in. So you have the video with people, but you're speaking into your cell phone, which in answer to a previous question, I would leave your cell phone then very close to you. So very, very close to your desk. So now you've got good audio because you've either called in on your phone or you've checked with people that they can hear you. And you've got good video because you've got either a 1:2 background or you've got a blank background. Also with video, you've situated yourself well, not too much space here, head and shoulders, and you've got audio. So those are the three main things. I am happy to take questions. Our goal with these is really to give you quick snippets, things that you can use right away. So in terms of the formal part, this is the end. We've done video, audio, and water. And I'll just end with a story, a 1-minute story. You wake up. So let's say Susie. Let's say Susie wakes up and she's got a video call in 10 minutes. What should she do? So what she should do is log on and make sure that she can see herself and everything's fine. She should get her water. She should either hop in a really fast shower. So I can do really fast showers. I've learned over life. So I'm the queen of very fast showers. But if she can't, just put on quickly nice clothes and then just go there. And finally, just be ready for the call. So get there a couple of minutes early. And I know this sounds simple, but I have a very big, bright yellow sign on my door right now because it says video call, please don't enter for 20 minutes for my kids. Because I have had so many calls recently where my kids have run in, have said hi. And if you don't want that, make sure to let people know that you don't want that. But generally, my last comment is for Susie, who's gotten up, she's taken her quick shower, she's all ready, she's got her water. She's put on like a business shirt or a light sweater, so it's not the sweatpants and the hoodie. Perhaps, who knows what industry you're in. Perhaps you need to wear a hoodie. But for a lot of us who are coaches or consultants, we usually put on an elegant top with sweatpants. So you've gotten there. And then the last thing that I'll tell you is, and relax. Everybody is going to have people and pets walk into their calls these days. Everybody is going to have weird things with video and audio, like our little thing at the beginning. We all know this is going to happen, and we're all in this together. So enjoy, and despite everything I've told you, the biggest message is how my friend and colleague, Catherine Britton, summarizes my message of how to prepare. You already have what you need. You have water, you have video, and you have audio, which you can even call into. You have these things. So don't stress about all this other stuff. You have what you need. Thank you, and all the best.